Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Dumela, and here on this channel I share all things astrology, numerology, human design, and my musings on all things life. If you haven't already, please do subscribe. If you're into this kind of content, please do subscribe. Turn on your notification bell so that you're alerted every time I come out with a new video and we can vibe out together. So today's video is going to be about my human design, specifically my sense. I'm not too sure if we have multiple senses within the human design space, like how you can see, smell, hear, taste, touch, that kind of thing, like we're used to. I just know that one of my senses, or my dominant sense, is inner vision. What I have grasped this means is that or rather, how I take in the world, how I interpret the world, has a lot to do with what I'm seeing internally. You know what I'm saying? My imagination, my mind space, which, knowing myself, makes so much sense. You see my walls empty. I mean, except for, Leo over there. That was during a time where I was learning about Vastu architectural principles. Even the color that I've colored her in is, there's meaning to it, there's intention behind it, right? But like, that's just her. Everything else, empty walls. Why? Because it's all up in here. It's all up in here, right? I think it's so cool that this is what it is, and that I low-key knew that I've always been an inner vision type of person, because I look at myself over my childhood. So you know how when we come to planet Earth, and also while we're here, you get to decide how you want to experience life, to fill in the details of your life and ultimately create the reality that you exist in, right? Many people choose the physical route, so that would be very much on planet Earth. All of this feels very real, and you're going through the trials and tribulations, and that is what influences what you want and inspires you to go for that which you want, right? Other people experience life through their dreams, and that informs the reality that they exist in. Other people through relationships, and then within relationships, either through romance or through family or through friendships. I experienced life through art, and as a result, a lot of how I interpret my existence is through an artistic lens, right? But I didn't realize that was what was happening, because the art form that I've had the most exposure to has been literature, right? So poems, books, which had me, first of all, just tapping into my imagination. I have a very beautiful, vivid imagination. Imagination, right? And that started when I was really younger, because my mom would buy me books and I just create stories I didn't yet know how to read. When I started being able to read, I started reading all kinds of folklore. I didn't read fairy tales. I came across fairy tales a little bit later, like primary school. Before that, folklore. Oh my gosh, folk tales, myths and legends, that was my thing, right? So always had a really active imagination. Love that about me. Then, I graduated in my reading, and I started reading more like genres, like novels, right? Fantasy books. That involves all kinds of esotericism. And now where I'm at, I'm like, oh, it makes sense why this stuff doesn't scare me, because this is the world I existed in anyways when I was younger. Another thing that I think is just so is how in tune I am with people's psyche, because a lot of the books I read were in the first person. So I was all up in people's mind spaces from a really young age, which explains to me better now why I'm able to really get people and really understand all kinds of people without having necessarily physically in my own life lived all these different types of lifestyles and had these different upbringings. you know that's just so cool. So now, knowing this, knowing that I'm an inner vision kind of girl, knowing that I need empty walls, I need like very little physical stimuli around me, makes sense because I exist a lot in my mind space. It also just speaks to why I've always felt my mind space is sacred to me. I've just, man, it's just always been that way. I just think it's so cool having such an in-depth understanding of me, even before I knew I had such an in-depth understanding of myself. Having it confirmed through my human design is like, oh my god, like I really do be experiencing life through literature for the most part, and then other forms of arts. Oh my gosh, this is also reminding me of something. My sister and I, she came across this lady. Her name is Dr. Caroline Leaf, right? Neuroscientist who combined that with her spirituality. Beautiful stuff, right? Part of her things is getting into the detail of how our brains work, right? Now, there are a set number of ways that our brains can think, and then depending on you, there are just certain ones that are more dominant than others, right? So you could be musical, you could be visual, you could be interpersonal, you could be, is a bunch of them, kinesthetic, right? So we took the quiz that you take to figure out which form of thinking is the most dominant for you. And mine is visual. It just, they meet so beautifully. It's the connections, it's the synchronicities, it just makes sense. So it's like my inner vision plus the fact that my most dominant way of thinking is visual. I fascinate me. I truly do. And everybody else too, because that test that we did, we had our parents take it too, and we learned so much about them too, which is just like, what? The English is not coming, it's not translating. But like, I just love this. Learning myself, studying myself, discovering things about me, joining the dots, man. Realizing how much of myself I really know and get that I didn't realize I knew and got until something outside of me spoke the same thing to me about me, and I was like, oh my god, that is me. Like, this is just so fun. Yeah, so I really wanted to share that, my inner vision sense of within my human design, and how it just clicked, man. It just makes sense, and I love that for me. Yeah, life is good, y'all. Figuring it out is good. Discovering me is good. The human experience is one for the books. It's a hell of a masterpiece, truly. Yeah, so that's it for my video on my human design, specifically my type of sense. If you enjoyed this, or you just like me, please give this a thumbs up, comment down below, say hi, let me know what your sense is. What else happens? Oh, if you haven't already, please do subscribe, turn on your notification bell so you're alerted every time I come out with a new video. Keep well, take care of yourselves. Love on yourselves, man. Love me. I love you. I love us. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.